Hello, my name's Stuart Barnett. I'm the Group Sales Director from Dewberry Redpoint, publishers of the FEA Public Sector Food Service Guide 2023. Today we're talking microwaves, and I am delighted to have here Chris John, Executive Chef from Nisbets.
Thank you very much for having me.
Chris, tell me about microwaves.
Microwaves, it's a age-old, I guess, cooking method now, which we had back in the 80s, 70s when they were first invented. And it's just a very quick and efficient way of heating food. So yeah, what would you like to know?
Chris, I've heard the term magnetrons. Tell me more.
Yeah, so a magnetron is basically what creates the microwaves that then heat the food up. So you can have units, certainly in a commercial world, where they have single or dual magnetrons, and it's really down to the power. So a single 13 amp magnetron will give you around about 1,000 watts of cooking power, whereas a dual magnetron unit of a higher input will give you up to 2,000, 2.2, and so on. As a rule, the higher the output, the quicker it's going to cook and the more energy you've got to work with.
So Chris, tell me, what is the difference between commercial and domestic appliances?
Yeah, it's a great question. We get asked this a lot, and obviously there's a massive price point. People say, why would I pay 1,000 plus for a commercial one when my domestic one is a few £100 and does the same thing? They're not essentially the same machine. A domestic unit is designed exactly for that in a domestic environment. So the biggest note you'll make inside a domestic unit, you'll have that turntable. So the turntable is going to be turning around because the way the microwaves or the magnetron distributes the microwaves into the cavity means that the unit has to rotate the product inside that chamber to be able to get the microwaves to penetrate the food evenly. When we go onto a commercial unit, obviously there's no turntable in there, and you've got a nice clear environment, usually stainless steel with a nice base, meaning that it has stirrers where the microwaves will distribute into the chamber a lot more evenly, meaning you don't have to move the food or manipulate it to be able to cook it evenly. I
believe there's lots of different power outputs within microwaves. Could you explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, if we go back to our domestic ones that we have at home, you look at 800, 900 watts, maybe 1,000 if you're lucky, and that's what your power of your unit's going to be. When we go into the commercial world, you can go everything from 14, 1850 and so on and so forth. And it's going back to that magnetron power again. Obviously, golden rule is the more power you're going to have, potentially the quicker it's going to be cooking. And it really down to what you want to be doing with the microwave. So if we're just heating up basic stuff, or if we're doing a regen very, very quickly, for instance, say we've got a QSR or a fast service restaurant where you want to heat stuff really, really quickly to serve to a customer, we want as much power as possible. Whereas if we're then going to start cooking stuff from scratch and you want to heat it all the way through, we could look at maybe a lesser power unit, which can then do it over stages and be more gentle with the food.
Now, Chris, there's obviously lots of different power outputs. Can you just explain how they work in a commercial machine?
Absolutely. So it can be a bit of a minefield when you're looking at power of the unit you're looking for. As I say, if you look at your domestic units, you're looking at 700, 800 watts and so on. When we go up to the commercial world, we're then 15, 1750, 1850 and so on. And the golden rule is the more power you've got available, the quicker the product inside is going to heat up because it has that energy behind it to be able to perform as best to its ability.
And is there a specific difference between more heavy duty and lighter equipment?
Yeah, so again, it's sort of coming back to that semi-domestic to commercial world again, whereas at home we're opening and closing the door a few times, whereas us as chefs, we like to slam stuff, so we're slamming doors and pressing buttons, easier to clean and things like that, so you don't want dirt ingress inside the button, so usually there's like solid panels, so it's easy to keep sanitized and look after the unit as well. And then we go on to the big units, which are, some can take up to like a 1 GN tray, so obviously the big cooking pans, and because it's commercial, and that usually where the microwaves are dumped from the top, meaning as long as you've got a good spread of product or cooking inside, the oven's going to be able to do its job. So you see the sort of myth of, can I put metal in the microwave? It's not recommended, absolutely, but you need to have there's a bit of a rule of percentage of food to metal, and things like rolled edges, deep trays and things like that all come into account. But if you've got any queries, obviously reach out. We can look at a case-by-case basis.
Okay. And Chris, how important is warranty in a new machine?
Yeah, so commercial warranty, again, this is something that is involved with commercial products. This is why you're paying that extra again. These machines, as I say, are designed to be used constantly throughout a day. So they're designed to be able to cope with the demand needed from them. It's always worth looking at the warranties. So a lot of manufacturers will offer maybe a year or 2 years parts and labor on the machine, but offer an extended warranty on the magnetron itself. And that's the expensive bit that does all the magic. So if we can get the longest warranty can on the magnetron, then that's a big win.
Chris, tell me about programmability.
Yep, so these ovens are designed to be able to do pretty much one job very, very well, and that's heat food as quickly as possible. So great for fast service and things like that. But when we've got multiple people using them, it can be a bit of a pain to be able to input times or remember how long did I put that in, or if you've got a microwave which does stage cooking where you can have it high power for a certain amount of time, then drop down so you're not going to overcook anything, and you can create basically your cook programs. So from there, you can save that then onto say your number one, number two, or whatever you've got on your panel. And then it's as simple as press 1, go. So you know that number 1 is lasagna,
Gotcha,
number
yeah.
2's chicken, number 3 soup, number 4, or whatever you want.
Whatever it
so
is,
it
yeah.
gives you that freedom then to be able to forget about, oh, what was that recipe again?
Mm-hmm.
It's all built into the oven. So a programmability for some people is a real win.
And microwaves, any limitations?
Yeah, I guess it's like any appliance in the kitchen, it's going to have its limitations, and it really depends on what the end results you're looking for. So if we go for an example, a lasagna, we've heated the lasagna up in the microwave, it's now ready to go. However, I like that nice finish on top. We've got the nice gratinated cheese, so I'd put a bit of cheese on it and flash it under a grill. A microwave's only going to be heating the product. It's not going to be grilling it unless you get microwaves with different cooking methods inside. So that then comes down to how you want the finished product to be, depending on how you want your microwave to operate. So again, come into that stage cooking. And then there's lots of myths as well around microwave cooking in terms of it's bad for you, or it heats from the inside out and all this sort of stuff, which isn't true. Microwaves will just penetrate into the product. They like things like fats and waters, which they react with, which then create heat when they get agitated, and that's essentially how they work.
And tell me about maintenance.
Yeah, so again, they're pretty easy to look after. And again, every microwave is going to be slightly different. So some have like air filters on the front or the sides where you have to clean and things like that. Most will have the roof that pops down because that's the bit that gets the most debris on it, should we say. So they're usually dishwasher safe and you can clean them. Some microwaves you can have where there's protective units that go inside them, again, to save with cleaning. So you can pull the unit out and put it through a dishwasher, keeping the interior of the microwave nice and clean. And of course, if you've got stacked units as well, you can put multiple units on top of each other and then clean them and have them in bays and stuff. So you see some, they call them banks, so you'd have lots on top of each other. But yeah, essentially the maintenance side of it is just keep them clean, tidy, and the golden rule, if you look after it, it'll look after you.
Of course. Are all microwaves the same? Is there any differences in brands?
A good question, and I'm sure every manufacturer out there will argue that theirs is the best, and of course they would. Why wouldn't you? Essentially, they're all doing the same job, whereby a magnetron's creating microwaves to be able to heat the product. Then there's the patented side of stuff whereby you put stirrers in and each person will do it slightly different, saying theirs is the best. Some will feed the microwaves from the side, some from the back, some from the top. So again, it's going to come back to that age-old question of what does the customer want from that microwave? What are they doing in it? Are they doing big tray bakes of lasagnas and things like that? Or are they doing small soups? Or are they doing little bits of porridge in the morning, just melting some butter, whatever. So then we can sort of look at which is the right one for you. Are they all the same? No. Do they do the same thing? Potentially. Is there a best one? I'm not saying.
Thank you. So which is the best commercial microwave to choose? I spoke to Kevin Walker at Panasonic UK, who will tell us more. So Kevin, tell us about Panasonic UK.
Yeah, so I think the best way to describe Panasonic is as an institution built on the thoughts, beliefs and aspirations of one man ahead of his time. We've been in existence for over 100 years, and throughout that time, all of our business practices have been guided by 7 principles set out by our founder in the early 20th century. Moving on to the present day, Panasonic have the same commitment to its employees and its customers' well-being as ever. One of our core principles is the betterment of society through our business practices, and what could be more pressing right now than the environment we all share.
So Kevin, tell us more about the future.
Well, Panasonic Green Impact encapsulates this, and it will be our driving force forward for the next 25 years. Our Pro Kitchen division have been championing energy saving for a number of years now through our inverter technology, which is incorporated into our 1878 compact model and our high-speed oven, the SCV2. We offer energy saving through our large gastro ovens and the high-speed on-demand steam facility.
And can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, well, we're going to go further and faster with Panasonic Green Impact, from sustainable packaging across the range and move to digital manuals and support, and move away from a linear supply chain into a circular economy. The ultimate aim is to remove 300 million tonnes of CO2 from the planet, which equates to 1% of all current global emissions.
So why would a public sector operator choose Panasonic?
I think the answer really is our aims and objectives align with most public bodies, which is to reduce the impact of business on the environment while reducing running costs, increasing quality, plus standard of service.
That's really interesting. Tell me some more.
Yeah, I mean, we have nearly 60 years of experience in accelerated cooking technology. Our range is unrivaled, from medium duty microwaves to high speed ovens and everything in between. We have unique products which benefit businesses such as gastro-sized ovens, which can produce on-demand steam without the need for water or waste connections. Our energy saving experience can be traced back over 30 years. with the development of inverter microwaves, our inverter technology, which is utilised in the 1878 and the SCV2 for the past 7 years, our credentials really are well embedded in this industry, and we're now committed to do more to support our customers and the environment than ever.
That's great, Kevin. So in summary?
So in short, I think if you choose Panasonic, you can rest assured we have a machine for every operation, from front of house grab and go to steaming to multi-portion regen and everything in between. Coupled with our after-sale service, we hope that every customer becomes a customer for life.